Hello everyone, today I want to show you the evolution of rangefinder cameras. There are different ways of focusing. Today it's really easy. We just press the button, half press, it focuses and many other stuff happens. But back in the days, it wasn't that easy, right? So the first thing was scale focusing. Scale focusing was just evaluating where we think our subject is. He looks around 10 feet. I'm going to put, 10 feet, and then I take the picture. After that, we did rangefinder to really have a better idea of that evaluation or estimation of distance, right? So on smaller cameras like one of these, it's a viewfinder camera. There's absolutely no rangefinder. There's no way for the user to measure distance between the subject and his camera. He has to estimate. So you could buy some external rangefinder like one of these, right? And just look into the rangefinder window, and then, okay, it's about, 3 feet, and then you go on the lens, put 3 feet, and then frame. That's a bit cumbersome, right? So these rangefinders are attached to the camera and they're synchronized with the camera. So when you actually focus, the rangefinder changes as well. So when you look into the rangefinder, you focus. Now I'm focused, and then it's at the proper place. So I don't have to, transpose the measurement into the lens scale. Right? So that was much more convenient. All right. So the first real big cameras that we know now that use rangefinders are Leicas. So they innovate in different ways. They were the first to use movie film, 35mm film, into a camera just to, evaluate the light and make some tests before, but then it became a real nice small package to take pictures. Of course, it was quite small as a film, but it was nice, it was compact. So the first Leicas look like this. This one is not a Leica. I used to have a Leica 3, which is pretty good. As you can see in the back, you have two windows. One is the rangefinder, the other one is the viewfinder. So you you make the focus, right, in this one, and then you move your eye to the other one, and then you can compose your frame and then take the picture, right? So even then, it was separate window, right? The big war came, World War II came, and when German lost, all the toolings and all these great camera factories went into USSR, and they learned how to do nice cameras, but quality control was not that great. So, like this example, this Zorky is a kind of copy of Leica 3, and it's really, really bad. I mean, you just feel it, okay? When you touch anything on this camera, you feel that, oh yeah, it looks nice, but wow, quality is not great, right? You had to be sure to wind your film and recock the shutter before changing the speed. If you didn't do that, you could damage the shutter. So really bad design, right? After that, in the 50s, Leica came with this great camera, the Leica M3. This is probably still one of the best, or even the best rangefinder there is on the surface of the planet. It was made from 55 to 6:1, I think. I'll put the details below. There were different innovations. First of all, only one finder. And the finder You know, you have the viewfinder and a small patch in the middle, which is the rangefinder. It's an absolute bliss to use. It works flawlessly, and just shooting with it, I mean, just the touch of this camera feels good, really. And when you press the shutter, it's kind of a really good feeling as well. When you win the film, wow, you feel the mechanic. It's precise, it's German, it's great, right? So obviously the German for the mechanics and the optics are really good. Where they lack a bit of experience is in the electronics. But the Japanese were quite good at it, and at some point they decided, why not join our Japanese friends? So this is a Leica Minolta. You had Leica models, so Leica CL, or this one is a Leica Minolta CL, and there are Minolta CL. So it's kind of the mechanic and optic made by the German, and the electronic made by the Japanese together. This is I think it's the smallest Leica M mount rangefinder there is. It's fun to use. It's not as precise as the M3, obviously, because the baseline, see the baseline here is quite large. And one thing I really love about this camera is that you can compose with both eyes open. There's no magnification, you know, you see exactly the same magnification with the M3. So when you compose, see, you see the action coming, and then you can anticipate, and when it's in the frame, click. This is a great tool. This is a small detail that is really good for street photo. Now, obviously on this one, it's not exactly the same. I prefer to close my eyes because there's magnification in the viewfinder, but still, it's pretty good. All right. So with the collaboration between Germany and Japan, Japanese learn how to create great rangefinders as well. And one company, well, there are two big companies that excelled in that. There's Minolta. There's many other Japanese companies that made rangefinders, but Canon, this is really good. I tried many Canon's rangefinders, and same thing with this one. This is the Canon P. I tried some with rapid film winder in the on the bottom plate. Pretty cool. But this is simple. This works. The magnification is great. I can shoot with my both eyes. It's not exactly as precise, you know, the mechanic and the optics as the M3. Since today, we all compare the rangefinders to the M3, to the old M3s from the 50s. This is still a great camera. But the Canon P, for a fraction of the price, made a really good camera. Honestly, for the price, this is tough to beat. Right? After that, the Japanese, what else they did? So, of course, like I said, Minolta, Fuji, Ricoh, Olympus, they did a lot of small rangefinders. These were popular in the 60s, 70s. Some cameras had their light meters up here or here, and this one here has its light meter under the filter. So if you have a filter, you don't have conversions to make, right? So it's always going to be, it's better to have your light meter under the filter. Obviously today, the light meter are inside the camera, so there's not even a problem there. And this is a Olympus XA, which is pretty nice. It's actually the smallest baseline rangefinder ever. So it's really, really small, but still it's precise enough for the lens that there is on it, which is, I think it's a 28-28. 35-8. It's a 35-8, and I love this camera. So small, And you know, when you pack one of these in the street, nobody takes you seriously, which is good. So you can take a lot of pictures without being noticed. And what do we have today? Oh yeah, by the way, during that time, what about Americans? Well, wasn't great. Still, 2 windows. The rangefinders were tough to use. Oh man, and this weighs like a brick. Literally, it looks like a brick as well, and it's called the brick. The Argus C3, the brick. Wasn't great. Really? Not that great. Another attempt was the Kodak 35 rangefinder. So difficult to use. Just to change the shutter speed. Man, it's not placed properly for my fingers or for any fingers there is. And same thing for focusing, not great. And then you compose here and your nose is in the way and you crank here, you really? No. Americans didn't have it. Meanwhile, in Japan, they had great cameras like this one I showed you. And today, I mean, look at this. See the design of this? Well, looks familiar. So, of course, this is not a rangefinder. This is a mirrorless camera. But look at what it looks like. Right? Same kind of form factor. And it feels great. Right? You can use cheap lens on this. A lot of cheap lens are available. Mechanical lens, manual focus. Obviously, Fuji makes great lenses, amazing, but these are cheap, and I kind of like to do the manual focus as well when I'm not in a hurry. And it's just great. It's a good feeling to still focus and compose, and I love this camera. This is great. Alright, so this is a small evolution of rangefinder cameras we had on this small planet. So I'm gonna make a lot of reviews specifically for all these cameras and other types of cameras, folders, TLRs, SLRs, and so on. So stay tuned. Please subscribe, like, add your comments, and may the photo be with you.